Roadworm.
Straight out of an Italian guy's basement, we got some Cronenberg movies for you.
Yeah, so let's start with Rabid.
My God, I just saw a motorcycle explode in that field.
I better tell the boys inside.
What the f*** happened to that guy?
Look, I don't hit nobody with glasses.
I don't hit nobody with glass. What is happening? Why is this guy just staring?
Like, how long is he going to be drinking this coffee
And he does not take his eyes off of him.
It's funny how cars never had cup holders and guys would keep
Putting it on the dash.
Scissors. Damn!
Oh! Are you crazy or something? Hopefully that doesn't happen during Drew's show. Good thing you didn't watch this with us. There's like a whole confrontation while he's asleep. The guy gets his finger cut off. What the hell are you doing?
Rose, you want a bite? Steak on a bun. It's real good.
Let's get something straight. There's no free rides in this country. Oh, well, it's because she ate the steak. She's not hungry for steak. She's hungry for ding-dongs. Ding-dong, yo, ding-dong.
Hey, you seen Smooth Eddie? He's got the lead truck and I can't find the son of a...
Smooth Eddie.
What do you mean he didn't look too good? Smooth Eddie always looks good.
You don't look too good. Smooth Eddie always looks good. By my books.
Smooth Eddie, like he looked like a rapist. He always looks good. Smooth Eddie.
That guy knew what was up.
Yeah.
That's rabies!
Yeah.
That's definitely rabies!
Smooth Eddie always looks good.
I wish they still sold boots like that for guys. I don't want to sound gay or nothing. I just wish I could get boots like those. Yeah, look at those fucking things.
Like you're gonna go wade in water?
Oh, butthole. Drunken Indian. It's an Indian and drunken Indian.
Let's talk briefly about David Cronenberg first, maybe. For those of you who don't know, he's a Canadian horror director, most well known for his style of body horror. David Cronenberg's most notable works include The Fly, Naked Lunch. He did Dead Ringers. His peak period was probably the early to mid 80s. Back in the day, he started off doing these low-budget horror movies, and you'll always see at the end that they've got, they financed through the Canadian government somehow, and that was another element of his movies that us being Canadians, I'm sure, can appreciate. He filmed in Canada, Toronto area, Montreal, other locations, and then they shadow it as another city. So they film in Toronto, but they're trying to say it's New York City or Detroit or wherever. Mm-hmm. Whereas Cronenberg, it seems at least, is a little proud to be Canadian, so he would film, if his film was shot in Toronto, it would take place in Toronto or Montreal.
These two movies, they seem like they were done like right after another.
So it's probably his third or fourth a major motion picture around this time, 1977. He did Rabid, and then he followed that up in 1979 with The Brood.
Well, Rabid takes place in Montreal, is it?
Yeah,
And
and outside of Montreal. So it starts off with
talented actress here.
Marilyn Chambers,
Marilyn Chambers,
yeah.
who prior to this was a porno star.
I know that chick.
I've seen her before.
It's still staying in.
But I thought she did a pretty good job. And outside of this, I don't know if she did much. I'm surprised she didn't, because, I don't know,
Yeah, she's good.
she was pretty
She had some
convincing.
pretty good talents.
After a motorcycle accident, she's taken to a hospital. And what I don't understand is, what were they doing to her? What did they modified her? They morphed her body or something?
Yeah,
like that?
so she gets badly injured, and then she also gets her skin burnt because she gets stuck under the bike while it's on fire, which is just down the street, luckily, coincidentally, from this specialty hospital for cosmetics and skin grafting. So they decide to take her there, and being, or specializing in that department, they decide to go ahead and skin graft all of her burnt skin on her chest and her stomach in that area.
Time passes, and she was in a coma for a while, wasn't she? And it seems as though like the hospital
Put her
planted a parasite in her or something.
It modified her genetics to turn her into some type of creature.
Yeah, that just has to feed off blood, I'm guessing. And it was this little alien thing that would come out of her arm.
And in Cronenberg fashion, the wound in which this siphon comes out of
Yeah,
has very, I don't know, you could say,
looks like a butthole.
Oh!
Looks like a butthole.
It looks like it's from Pink Flamingo.
this becomes a trait that Cronenberg uses a lot in his movies.
Yeah.
Cronenberg loves that stuff. Right?
Yeah. He's always done
Like
that.
the video drone, where he sticks the. Or you haven't seen it?
Video drill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that.
Shoves it into like his like
Belly
chest,
button and
vagina.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like how he takes those
Provocative.
provocative wounds that he creates in his
Yeah.
films. Like, yeah, I don't know why. I'm just
It
weird
always
like that. I
resembles
guess.
something, eh?
Yeah, it's always resembling something. But I think it's to make the viewers even more uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah.
When it's something that like they like, that's disgusting, but it's recognizable.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why,
It's
but
like I have one of those.
I have seen that before, and that's disturbing me.
She escapes the hospital, and
But
she's
not before infecting someone, because she needs human blood as a substance. She can no longer eat food. But there's a side effect to that, to the victim.
yeah,
It doesn't kill them, but instead it
gives
can-
him rabies or some type of rabies.
Yeah, rabies
So-
for humans. And they forget. The victims always forget what happened to them,
Yeah, they're very forgetful.
but they show signs of the symptoms. They're groggy, and eventually they
The
start.
sweats, they get the
They
sweats,
and then they
foam.
some green goop comes out of their eyes, and then they
Mhm.
start foaming from the mouth.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, they become like zombies. But it's got elements of the zombie genre.
Yeah,
And I think this is Cronenberg's take on the zombie genre. You know,
Kind of puts the Cronenberg stamp
Cronenberg's,
on it.
yeah, where it's now he focuses on the fact of like humans spreading disease. The disease that she started with the infected is spreading and now has gotten to the city, and it's become a full outbreak.
yeah.
The government has declared martial law. They're sending in the military with scientists to kind of clean up
Garbage trucks,
garbage trucks. Yeah, and
taking out the trash.
It's
yeah,
even gotten to like the point where they're saying that we should shoot him down.
much like the zombie genre.
Yeah, the whole time while she's running around spreading her disease, her boyfriend is looking for her.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to focus on like any other characters enough to care about them.
Yeah.
Like the boyfriend kind of becomes our protagonist in a sense, but I don't know. It's not about that. It's more about one story is her dealing with this new, mutation that she's got, and being addicted to feeding off of people's blood. And then on the other side, this, zombie rabid rabies outbreak that's going on. And but it ends pretty subtly, I think.
She locks herself in a room with one of her victims.
She doesn't want to believe that she's the cause of this disease that's spreading. So after, sucking someone's blood, she locks herself in the room with the victim to prove to herself and to her boyfriend that she isn't the cause of the outbreak. But then she ends up getting bitten and killed by the victim. And then it ends with the cleanup crew driving around, and they found another body, so they just throw it in the back of the dumpster.
She's
and
lying in garbage.
being chewed up by a dog.
Pulling at her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the acting was good. Some of it seemed a little odd, but the one, it's not even bad acting, but it kind of stuck out was her boyfriend just seemed like he was sleeping through this whole movie.
Well, he still had a concussion. From
Yeah,
the
and I don't know if he was
accident.
portraying the concussion or
Right.
like how he was depressed, like he caused the accident.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The next movie we watched from David Cronenberg was The Brood.
Do you want to tell me a story? About what happened to Dave Grandma's?
I'm telling you, old man.
I ain't telling you
It's tripped.
tripped.
I ain't loose lips Lenny, okay? No hand railing.
Yeah, I don't know how that plays past.
Full face forward into that brick wall.
Wall, yeah.
Wouldn't this look impressive in court?
Oh. It's a Cronenberg disease. What is that?
It's just like, I don't know.
It's just like,
Is it one of those doors from Time Bandits? What the f*** are these things coming from? Oh my god, they look like some creature from like old Star Trek episode.
yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
They're gonna just this whole classroom up.
Holy shit, they are.
What are you gonna hurt with those? Jeez. Oh, holy shit! Get out of here! I could fight those things off. Get these kids out of here!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Usually you keep kids out of the frame when you film certain
Yeah.
It's mine!
Get the kids out of there. He just leaves those bodies.
Oh, I just saw 3 kids in snowsuits walking down 55 there.
It's fine. I went to go get some chicken wings.
Coming back from lunch. Oh, is that why you smell like crab? Well, yeah. You know what I mean then.
Frank, I got a gun.
It's cross-eyed there.
Yeah. That would have been awesome if they were in WWF. Instead of like the Brood that was in it.
Oh yeah.
Like, remember the Brood?
That sounds familiar.
It would have been awesome if these kids were the Brood. And they get off on the ring and start whipping ass.
They start kicking. Who's next? Choke on that, baby! How many kindergartners do you think you could beat up?
Whole class.
That's it? No, but like most. How many kindergartens do you think would be too much to fight?
Weapons involved? Like, do they get weapons, I mean?
No.
Then I think I'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, that kid actually looks like he's scared.
Oh, now she's starting to
the scurvy. How did that make you feel, Greg?
No, it's definitely a build-up story, different from Rabid.
Yeah,
Rabid
it had
kind of jumps right into.
it had very different pacing, and
This was definitely a storytelling sequence.
I agree.
Yeah, like right off the bat, they kind of give you definitely the Cronenberg effect of, with skin and when the doctor's doing his presentation with the patient.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden
See the
his
boils.
boils are starting to pop up.
Show me, then I can understand it.
How's he covered in all that shit now?
Go all the way through it, Michelle.
Oh yeah, he wasn't before, was he?
No.
Holy shit, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
This one focuses on a father who is recently, I don't know if recently, but is separated from his wife, or they may be divorced at this time. And he's taking care of a young daughter. His ex-wife is seeking psychiatric therapy currently with this one kind of doctor who's praised right now for doing a certain technique, and they call it, Drew will insert the clip of when they mention that word.
God damn it, psychoplasmics is a ripoff.
But yeah, it's some bizarre technique where he is psychologically finding the problems, the issues that these people have had in their past, and bringing them out. So when our main character picks up his daughter, he finds some marks, and it looks like scratches or bruising on the child's back. So he's concerned that the mother is physically harming their child. He brings this up to the doctor, and then while this is going on, his mother-in-law's, there's a scene where his mother-in-law is babysitting the daughter, and then there's this odd scene, very much reminiscent of a slasher film, where someone's breaking into the house and you see like a deformed hand grab a mallet, and then the kitchen's being ripped apart. The mother-in-law goes to investigate it and gets bludgeoned to death.
So what are we dealing here with, like a kid or a midget?
Yeah.
And it doesn't show the killer completely, but
it's small.
Yeah. It's small and it's
Childlike
deformed.
figure.
Yeah, childlike figure. Yeah. So again, it's a slow burn. This movie more so than Rabid. Finally, towards the end of the movie, everything comes together. Whereas Rabid, kind of, you knew what was going on throughout the movie. The big revelation is brought out very early. You know what's going on.
Right.
You're just witnessing the side effects of it. Whereas this, to get to that revelation, it takes a good 45 minutes to an hour, I think.
Yeah.
I think, after the second victim?
After the second victim.
Just the grandfather?
Yeah. So you find out that the killer is this deformed creature that's got like
several deformed creatures.
Well, you see one initially, and then it's the size of a child, and then this creature just dies all of a sudden, and then it's taken to the police, and they do an autopsy, and you find out that it's got an umbilical cord.
Sexual organs.
No belly button.
No sexual organs, and it lives off of a sac of nutrients that's inside its shoulder or something like that. And then they said it died just because it ran out of substance and just gave up.
Huh.
Very strange. And I think the lead, the father, took it pretty well because he was just kind of like a average working person. And,
he witnessed the murder.
And saw this creature
and then saw the autopsy and realized that it was not human.
Yeah. I'd be
common
freaking
sense.
out. I think I'd be leaving town. Too much to take in, though.
Yeah.
Murders and creatures doing these murders.
And then the big finale of The Brood the big revelation is that you find out that there's many of these little creatures, and they're kept in the shed.
Yeah, they got like their own like sweet pad.
Wish I had a pad at that age.
Being cared to by the ex-wife, and then also the psychiatrist doctor who is involved in all of this. He's aware of what's going on, and you find out that she is not really birthing these childs, but these creatures are coming from her.
Her ovaries are on the outside. Your uterus. When she reveals her dress, like she opens up her dress and you don't know what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
I honestly thought I was gonna see something a lot worse.
I felt it was shocking.
It was
enough,
shocking. Ew! Bites it open.
Oh, how's that taste?
How does that fit?
She pop one out on a regular basis?
Yeah, they were all like growing on it.
That sucks.
That's how they're born, man. That's how these critters
That's
are
how
born.
babies are born, don't you know?
I felt like it was good enough for me just because I knew something was going to be up, and I didn't know what, and it was still weird enough for me. Yeah, and these children are the brood.
Yeah.
And that not only that, but they have a psychic connection, kind of like a hive mind, where depending on how she's feeling or who she's mad at, that's where these children creatures are directing their energy and their motivation to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, her family members.
Yeah, the teacher that she thinks is having.
That she's jealous of.
Yeah.
They all seem to have like a size they grow to. They're all the exact same size as the daughter, which is find to be weird.
And it doesn't directly explain how this is happening. It makes subtle hints.
I mean, I kind of figured it was side effects of what he was doing to the patients.
And he was saying that through enough time with this doctor, it actually
develops,
physically changes you.
Yeah.
Even though it's a psychological thing, practice,
right,
that it's physically changing the body for whatever reason.
Biggest hole in the whole movie. It's
like, how does he have this power?
Well, I don't know if it's a hole. It's very Cronenbergian. It's like it takes something that's an everyday thing and makes it like it can create a disease. It's like in Videodrome with watching too much, explicit material can psychologically change you and then turn you into like a monster. I think what he's trying to say is that you are always a vessel or an element of these elements, and it's a part of you, and therefore you can change to murder or whatever reason, which is something I've always liked about Cronenberg. I feel like he's touching on divorce and how like it messes up kids possibly with family structure. These seem like face value schlocky, gory horror movies, cheap horror movies, but
there's a message being sent.
Yeah, or maybe, not even necessarily a message, but like he's got a deeper meaning to why things are happening. And again, you can see that in all of his movies later on.
I'm going to start with Rabid here.
Sure.
I thought the performances were surprisingly really well done. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I liked that it was kind of in our backyard,
Yeah, and it had like one Frenchman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another weird thing. Yeah. It took place in Quebec, but everything was in English, and everyone spoke like English as if they were from Southern Ontario or the United States.
I think Marilyn Chambers did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give it a ride on.
Okay. And what about The Brood?
I like The Brood. It was a fun film. A lot of confusion. I have to give it a meh.
Okay.
I feel like it was the story that it was telling. It didn't
resonate with you as
well.
well.
Didn't resonate with me. It didn't dot its I's and cross its T's.
Yeah. I think you're right. Like
I did enjoy. I like the creatures, the Brood. They're kind of creepy looking and
different. So right on and a meh. Rabid. So overall, I enjoyed it. It's got that kind of grindhousey, kind of schlocky, low budget feel to it, which it is. But it was very entertaining at the same time. Like it starts off quick, and it just never slows down throughout the movie. And it's got kind of a unique ending. but at the same time, like, I don't know if it elevated itself enough where, you know, it was a right-on for me. It's not like a good production movie, but it's not stupid and entertaining. It's somewhere in the middle. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a meh. So meh. The Brood, you know, in compared to Rabid, it felt like it had a better production value. It was a little sleeker. You can, you know, I probably contributed that to Cronenberg maybe getting slightly bigger budgets at this point and, you know, learning a few skills along the way. But it's a meh for me as well, for different reasons. The story was a little more unique, but at the same time, like you guys mentioned before, it was a little slower paced. And again, it's riding that fine line of like, does it want to be outrageous or does it want to tell like a thriller type of story? It's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't do either of them perfectly, but it does both of them well enough. And so it's a meh as well for me.
Rabid was good. The effects, like the cars and stuff, the stunts, I mean, were done well.
And even like the prosthetic makeup.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Especially for the time too.
Yeah.
Like
and the budget that they got, I'm sure.
Yeah. I do like the idea of this, the outbreak and the chaos that it causes. So I'm going to give it a right on.
Okay.
But I don't feel the same about The Brood.
No?
No, like, because it seemed like there was too many details missing. I feel like there could have been more explanation on certain points. I'm going to give The Brood a meh.
So that leaves Rabid at right on.
Yeah.
I guess, and
The Brood,
The Brood
meh.
at a meh.
Just quickly, both of these are released on fancy Blu-rays. They both look great.
This one's Shout Factory.
Yep.
Scream Factory.
Yeah. Yep. And
Criterion.
Criterion released The Brood. So, I mean, both of these Canadian low-budget horror movies can now be watched in beautiful high-def Blu-ray by reputable companies.
And that's it. That's our first Cronenberg special.
Double feature
Double feature
marathon.
marathon. We may have more in the future.
Tell your friends and family.
Tell your friends and family. Like and subscribe to Roadworm Entertainments. We have more to come.
Instagram it.
And follow these guys on Instagram at these Instagram accounts.
Till next time.
Bye. Love you.
I gotta think of like a closing line.